The way you think about leadership is about to change. For decades, Daniel Goleman's work on emotional intelligence has been the gold standard in leadership, but business has changed. Goleman's emotional intelligence for leaders in high-growth environments isn't enough on its own. In high-growth environments like pharma, tech, healthcare, and financial services, leaders with strong emotional intelligence are failing. These environments are fast-paced with very high stakes. Leadership emotional intelligence has been pushed in these environments, but emotional intelligence was built for a different time. The unique challenges modern leaders are facing is different. Doesn't matter if you're an analytical thinker or if you're an emotionally intelligent leader. You're probably surprised to hear that both leaders are bouncing off the same wall. I'm going to explain to you why leaders are struggling and show you exactly how to fix it. What most don't realize is Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence is only part of the solution. We have to look beyond EQ if we want to get all modern leaders over that wall. No one has to be left behind. Now let's imagine that you're a high EQ leader. You've built psychological safety, your engagement scores are high, your 360 reviews say you're approachable, supportive, and trustworthy. But deadlines are slipping, the same decisions keep being revisited over and over again, your projects are stalling, you can see your team struggling with execution, but you aren't sure how to fix it. Accountability is fading, and you're struggling to have hard conversations with your team. You set deadlines, but your high EQ has you worried about creating too much pressure. You dilute your feedback because you value the person and the relationship. You don't want to put that at risk. When given the choice, you always choose empathy over accountability. Yet your best people are still leaving because you aren't addressing the challenges they face when they interact with other teams. They can't see a path to resolution, so they resign. Now let's imagine that you're an analytical leader. You're data-driven, you hit targets, you deliver results, your dashboards are clean, your metrics are clear. Those processes are super tight. But your best people are also leaving. Exit interviews cite lack of connection and feeling like you see them as part of a machine, not as an individual. Your team executes, but they feel disconnected. They say you aren't empathetic, but you haven't seen a reason to be empathetic. It feels inauthentic to you. Why should you celebrate people who are just doing their jobs? If you have to choose between results or relationships, you choose results every time because results are tangible, something you can see and measure. You were two very different leaders in these scenarios, but you struggled with the same problems in both. They just manifested in a different way. Here's what's actually happened. Many high EQ leaders have awareness but don't take action. They sense what's wrong, but they can't solve it. Analytical leaders have action but not awareness. They solve problems but miss the human impact. Both are costing companies millions of dollars each year, and it's manifesting in unhappy leaders and unhappy teams. The average cost of turnover for a leadership role is 1.5 to 2 times their salary. Companies on average also lose 20% of productivity to rework and miss deadlines. These challenges impact your revenue, your profitability, and your competitive advantage. I've seen companies lose $2 million in employee turnover because leaders couldn't bridge empathy and accountability. What's worse is most think of it as a cost of doing business. I worked for high-growth companies and I was promoted 5 times in 2 years until I became an executive managing a global team of 100 people across 3 continents. I've led teams through hypergrowth and back-to-back acquisitions. The kind of environments where failure is the most probable outcome. And I kept seeing the same pattern. I first noticed this during a post-M&A integration where half my leadership team had high EQ and the other half were highly analytical thinkers. High EQ leaders come in with great intentions. They build trust, they create psychological safety, they get everybody engaged. Then they hit a wall when it's time to make the hard decision or hold people accountable. Analytical leaders would come in and execute. They'd hit targets, tighten processes, and deliver results. Then they'd burn out their teams, lose their best talent, and ultimately wash out themselves. Both types failed in the same way. They couldn't integrate empathy and accountability. So I built a system that does both. In the integration that I led that had 100 people across those 3 continents, that M&A was brutal. But we saved $1 million annually through operational efficiency. We also doubled team productivity without adding headcount, and we retained 90% of our key talent. Here's what made the difference. I stopped choosing between empathy and accountability. I learned to integrate both. I built a framework that worked with human behavior, not against it. And once I crossed that bridge, everything changed. Hard conversations without human collateral damage, high accountability and psychological safety, teams that felt challenged and supported, results through people, not at their expense. Here's the gap that Daniel Goleman missed with the modern reality of today's fast-paced businesses. Emotional intelligence alone simply is not enough. Emotional intelligence means awareness. You're self-aware, and you're aware and understand the feelings of others. You can read a room like a pro. You feel the tension. You know something's wrong, but awareness alone doesn't tell you what to do about it. This is the gap between emotional intelligence and relational intelligence. Relational intelligence gives you strategic action, the ability to navigate complex cross-functional environments. That's where you really see relational intelligence shine. Emotional intelligence gives you empathy and awareness. Relational intelligence gives you action and the ability to navigate complex relational structures. You need both of those to be successful. And not only do you need them both, you need to integrate them together like 2 pieces of steel. Together, they're stronger than either would be on its own. That's what I call integrated intelligence, the combination of emotional intelligence for leaders with business relational intelligence. It's about understanding how people, processes, and performance intersect in complex business environments. Most leaders are strong in right brain skills, like emotions and creativity, or they're strong in left brain skills, like analysis and logic. High EQ leaders lean on empathy, they feel everything, and they react based on their instincts. Analytical leaders lean on data and logic. For them, emotional intelligence is like putting a square peg into a round hole. They solve problems and make data-based decisions, but miss the human element. To bridge empathy for people with accountability and performance, you have to have both. And that's what I built, the leadership equation. It's a system that integrates emotional intelligence and analytical thinking for stronger, better decision-making. Here's what it looks like in practice. You walk into a hard conversation. You're about to tell someone their work isn't meeting standards. Now, if you did this the old way, you'd either avoid the conversation because you don't want to hurt the relationship, or you have the conversation and it damages trust. The leadership equation way? Let's say you're a right brain thinker. Relational intelligence helps you with taking action. You use analytical intelligence to form a hypothesis on why this is happening based on the information that you have available. Is it a skill gap, a clarity gap, a motivation gap? Then you have the conversation where you first seek to understand the employee's perspective with empathy. And together you make a plan to improve their performance, accountability. You're direct about the problem, but you're supportive, and the employee feels seen, is clear on expectations and consequences if they don't improve. The relationship gets stronger, not weaker. I've been in this situation many times, and more often than not, the employee has improved in the situation where other leaders had given up on that employee entirely. Now, if this is resonating with you, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm dropping leadership frameworks like this every week, and you don't want to miss it. Now let's take a look at another example. You're leading a team through rapid change. The old way, you either over-communicate and create anxiety in people, or you under-communicate and you lose trust. The leadership equation way, you balance transparency with stability. You acknowledge the uncertainty. You provide clarity on what you can control. You create psychological safety while maintaining high standards. This is the bridge between empathy and accountability. In the leadership equation, we teach you to bridge empathy and accountability without sacrificing one or the other. Now, if you're leading in pharma, tech, healthcare, or financial services, if you're managing through rapid change and competing priorities, if you refuse to choose between people and performance, you can get the complete leadership equation system in my new book, Born a Statistic, Built to be a Leader. Beyond EQ, Master People and Performance. The link is in the description. Now, the secret to the leadership equation is that we don't just teach you how to lead with your whole brain. We teach scalable success comes from systems. Teams need clarity on decisions, autonomy in execution, and recognition for their results. Too often, we treat leadership failing as a personal flaw and don't acknowledge that these failures are more systemic. The environment that they operate in needs to change. Daniel Goleman gave us emotional intelligence. That was the foundation. Relational intelligence is the bridge. Skills-based systems, that takes us to the finish line. So to sum it all up, we have to lead with our whole brain. The leadership equation breaks this down into a formula. EQ plus RQ, RQ being relational intelligence, plus AQ, analytical intelligence, equals integrated intelligence, thinking with your whole brain. Add systems, and you've got a complete blueprint for creating high-performance teams. Now, remember the analogy from earlier? Our formula is not additive, it's integrated, like forging two pieces of steel together to form one. It's all laid out in my book, Born a Statistic, Built to be a Leader. Only 100 hand-signed first editions are available. And if you join the Deep Dive Live experience, you get a complimentary 30-minute leadership strategy session with me. But this is all only available for a short time. The details are in the description. You are going to want to reserve your hand-signed copy now because, again, there are only 100 of these copies available. The details are in the description. Now, what kind of leader are you? Are you team left brain or team right brain? Or are you an integrated thinker? Tell us in the comments below. I'm Tia A. Williams, and this wraps us up. I'll see you next time.